Both President Obama and Mitt Romney brought their A games to last night's town hall debate with decidedly strong performances from both men. But like any heated exchange between two presidential hopefuls, there was a much more subtle game being played, one relying on facial expressions and body language, which in many cases can say a lot more than what the candidate is actually saying. Joining us this morning to talk about some of those interactions, facial coding expert, also the president of Sensory Logic, Dan Hill. It's nice to have you with us.
Thank you. Good morning.
So when you're watching the debate, we're all listening to content, and you're watching to see if what they're saying matches up with what their eyes are doing?
Oh, absolutely. 25% of the brain is devoted to processing visuals. So that is going on all the time, and it's really decisive because it feeds into your emotional response. George Orwell said, by the age of 50, a man has the face he deserves. Well, in the first debate, what we saw from Obama was kind of the face that Congress has given him. He looked peeved, annoyed, kind of disillusioned. Congress. Where he came back this time, where he came back this time was like a man coming back from the dead. He was emoting practically at every moment in this debate. And last time he showed a lot of sadness, a lot of resignation. Sadness as an emotion means I kind of resigned, I've kind of given up. This time he was fighting for his issues. He was emoting strongly. Only time he showed sadness was when he got to the gun debate.
We're looking at a side-by-side from the first debate and the debate from last night. And you were just talking about that, looking sad, which he only did really once in the
debate, yes, because last time, you know, his eyes were down. He was looking at his notes. He kind of slumped in his demeanor a lot of times. He looked small on the stage, and he's supposed to be the president.
All right, so
this time he came on strong.
We have been talking and arguing about and parsing what people have said about Benghazi. You were looking at response to the question itself. Let's play that.
This question actually comes from a brain trust of my friends at Global Telecom Supply in Mineola yesterday.
What do you see
We were
there?
sitting around talking about
three things, actually, and it was not the best moment for Obama. First, when the mouth pulls wide, you have fear. You have anxiety, you kind of freeze for a moment.
Not a question you want.
We do not want to have a president who freezes. You want them to be moving the country forward, making a difference. So he showed fear, then he gulped, and then his inner eyebrows raised in another sign of fear. Now, later on, when he started saying, you know, how dare you challenge basically my patriotism and my caring about what happened in Benghazi, then he came on really strong. It's almost like he compensated for that initial fear, but he did have the fear.
People often talk about town halls as an opportunity to demonstrate empathy. There was a lot of aggression, conflict, strength. Were there moments, or was either more effective at kind of projecting understanding, empathy, getting average people?
Well, one of the things that Romney, I think, did well in this debate was he showed me things he's never shown me before. I actually trailed the guy in Iowa in 2007. I was this close with him for sometimes hours on end watching expressions. I saw things last night I've never seen.
What kinds of things did you see?
Go ahead.
But what he showed last night was much more disgust than he normally shows. Why is this important? When the upper lip curls, when the nose wrinkles.
We have shots of that, so why don't we play those while you're talking about it?
Okay, that's basically rejection. What he's trying to do is get the voters to reject the Obama economic policy of the last 4 years.
He also seemed like a little tick, though. Because the president was getting under his skin.
Oh, very much so.
Did Romney also make a mistake? Because I thought several times he kept turning away from the audience, kept going at the president.
Kind of get in the personal space. So we have a clip of that.
And the president would sort of,
play that.
He would engage, but he would brush him off and turn back to the audience and walk towards someone.
Yes, no, that was brilliant because, you know, the back of the face, we don't emote to that. I mean, we're a market research firm. We see that if an actor in a TV spot shows you the back of the face, you don't get nearly the same emotional connection and empathy opportunity as if you see the front of the face. There's a part of the brain that reads people's faces. It's 8 times more sensitive than the part of the brain that reads objects. Friend or foe. As LBJ said, if you can't walk in the room and tell me whether you're with me or against me, you're not worth spit as a politician.
One of the most interesting things you told me earlier wasn't actually about the candidates, it was about one of the candidates' wives, Ann Romney.
Oh, absolutely. I knew right away who had lost this debate before we even got to the poll, because Ann Romney, right after the debate, showed embitterment.
That's embitterment? She looks anxious.
That's not quite the thing, but the mouth is pulled tight, and you have an upward thrust from the jaw area, and the corners of the mouth go down a little bit. That is anger and disgust, and it was in the eyes, and it was in the mouth, and it was in the lips.
And you saw it in the first debate with Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama first debate looked disillusioned and spooked before she even got the debate underway. So it was almost like you knew who was going to lose the first debate. After the second debate, you knew who had lost the second debate.
Verdict from the two of them as they walked off the stage?
This time?
Yeah, Obama and Mitt Romney.
They were much happier with this one, to say the least.
But Romney left earlier. than the president. He didn't stick around as long as this time as he did the first time.
And he did have a little moment where he showed a little bit of anger. I think you're right that Obama really got under his skin this time. When they started going after taxes and the 1% and kind of tying him to it, boom, 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 lots of anger from Romney. And Ann showed it on her face even more than Mitt did.
Dan Hill, facial coding expert. Nice to have you with us.
Absolutely.
That is so fascinating, isn't
thank
it?
you.
I feel like I missed so much by not reading everybody's facial.
Read the congressman right now.
I'm just going to keep smiling.
And he's seeing right through it.
He's a fast learner.